let you know who we are. We are Thought Energy Consulting, affiliate of Proctor Gallagher Institute, and our Nigerian consultant, a certified PGI consultant, is Mr. Chidi Ababu, and he will be addressing us shortly. So what we are into is personal development and mind coaching. That's what we do. We coach people towards thinking into their desired results, towards becoming whatever it is they choose to be. Achieving any success you want in all aspects of your life. It's a program that is a fit for purpose, both in relationship, marriage, work, professionally, any aspect of your life is a fit for purpose. So if you really want to start thinking into results, then I think we are the people you should contact. So without saying much, I would like to invite our Proctor Gallagher Institute certified consultant in Nigeria here. If you're not making use of your hands, I would like us to please welcome him with an applause, Mr. Chidi Ababu, for his remarks.
MC for 419 Total in her first live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
We feel honored and loved to have you here. So I've invited you here, everybody, particularly those that came and spent an hour plus waiting for the rest of us to come. I thank all of you, but I especially thank those of you who came. You know yourselves, and I am glad. I've been very curious about life. I've asked 1,001 questions. I asked my parents questions they couldn't answer. My father didn't go to school, he was a tailor. So there were a few questions he could answer. And there were very intelligent answers he gave me I did not understand. But with benefit of hindsight, he died in 1989. One wish, if I can make today, is for him to come back and spend 1 year with me. My father used to tell me a few things that didn't make sense. He said, if you don't have the same attitude to money with somebody, you don't have a common purse. I said, why? He said, because if you're prudent, the other person will think you're stingy. And if he's generous, he will think he's extravagant. But you need to have greater area of common interest than individual difference in terms of attitude to money. I understood it and I stressed it so far that when I got married, at some point my wife said, let's have a common joint bank account. I told her that our love hadn't gotten strong to have a joint account. To my account, I don't even care where the checks are. My father told me, if you're not headed in the same direction with anybody, don't enter the same vehicle, no matter how beautiful that vehicle is. But unless you have a common destination, the vehicle should not be the same. And I took that to heart. So what am I saying? Those were not in any textbook I came across. I've been to school, I have a couple of my friends here who have 3 master's degree, accountant, lawyer, but I'm sure they didn't see that in any textbook. So the question is, what's education? My second son, when they were choosing, when he was quite small, I said, what would you like to be? He said he'd like to be a traffic warden. I said, why? He said he wants to, when he raises his hand, all vehicles will stop, even trailers. So I knew he liked power. I said, what course would you want to study in school? He said he wants to study money. Then anything, he wants to study how money comes to him. He doesn't want to study anything, he just wants to study money. For me, I thought he was crazy. I studied economics in school, but I didn't quite understand what he was saying. But with the benefit of hindsight, I now realize it would be painful for no insult meant. It would be painful for a man to have 2 degrees, a master's degree, a PhD in finance, and be a professor of finance. You can't pay your house rent, you can't live where you want to live, You can't train your children in the school you want to train them. You can't travel to the countries you want to go to. There must be something wrong. And some other person who can't write his name employs about 1,000 people with those certificates and is paying them. Then there's something not so right. So the question is, how is value created? It's not education the way we were taught. It's not knowledge. Value is created from inside of you. Education simply means educo, draw out from what you have inside. But here, we are taking in what is an environment and we call it education. It can put food on your table, but it can't give you much. Life is a buffet, but some people go through life hungry. So the fault is not food, the fault is entirely yours. I don't want to sound scriptural, but it said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. You can't rise above the height of your thoughts. If you don't think, you continue to walk and take instructions from people who do. I've never been on anybody's payroll all my life. So many of us are 10-cylinder cars or firing on 2 cylinders. The only thing you will regret at the point of death are things you wanted to do, you don't have the courage to do. These are the things you regret in your life. And the time to do it is now. The question is, how? Like I said, I don't want to sound scriptural, but by growing up, I realized that I was told that I was created in God's image. That you are made in the likeness of God. That you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And even God called us co-heir. At some point, he said, the kingdom of God is inside of you. I said, indeed, ye are God. The son of a goat was called a goat. Christ was killed because he said, I am one with my Father. I'm not equal with, but I am one with my Father. That was one of the blasphemies for which he was killed. So I won't take your time. So when I got curious about so many things, I read a couple of books. I read one book, The Secret, 2006. Then I watched the film, The Secret. And I realized that everything starts from your thoughts. And that success is a spiritual law. I don't want to delve into the difference between spirituality and religiosity. The laws of life, everything about life is spiritual. Because if you're coming from somewhere you don't know, your mom and God will say, your mom had a picnic with your dad and you resulted. And you landed, they call it birth. You spend maximum 120 years here and you go somewhere. Basically, naturally, you're something people don't know. And what you don't understand, we say it's spiritual. You must be a spiritual being having a temporary human experience here in your physical body. So you're actually a spiritual being, majorly. That's why they say, at birth, you don't die, you've transited. For those of you who are science students, matter is not destroyed. Matter cannot be created or destroyed, it changes form. Water is water, if you boil it, it evaporates. If you put it in the fridge, it solidifies, it becomes blood. It changes form. Creation has finished. That was what we were told. That everything you're looking for is somewhere. So summarily, I now realize that the Stone Age was there, the age of technology came, the age of manufacturing came. This is technology, but here we are fusing into the age of thought. Everything starts from your thought. If you can't think, you can't create anything. Like I said, if you can't think, you continue to walk and take instructions from people who do. And why you do what you do well, it's not because of what you're doing, it's because you're doing it in a certain way. So success is a spiritual law of life when you do this in a certain way. But you need to understand those principles. The law of gravity does not obey some people and disobey some people. If you throw anything up, it will come down. Whether you close your eyes, whether you do anything, there are laws about everything. You have the laws of success. But if you can't be breaking those laws or the principles and you claim you want to reap the benefits, forgive us as we forgive those who trespass against us. You're praying, you're asking God, please forgive me. But that your sister, that your brother, over your dead body, you're breaking the principle, you're not going anywhere. One of those laws, what you sow, you will reap. Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. Whatever a man sows, he must reap. But the mistake we make, we think that the sowing is just what you say and what you do. That was still about 5% or 3%. 95%, if not more, you're sowing with your thoughts. You're sowing with your thoughts. Because your thoughts will lead to your feelings will lead to your actions will lead to your decisions will lead to your results. So if you want to change your results, go back to your thoughts. So thought is everything. So I left the partnership. I'm a stockbroker, by the way. I left the partnership I was in for 20 years. One of my directors is here. When I left that partnership, it seemed as if the world had come crashing. But I had done quite a couple of reading, had listened to Bob Proctor, my mentor, who died 1 year ago. He died at 87. He didn't go to school. So I wrote him one page. I said, Bob, my name is blah blah. I do programs and blah blah blah. So and so happened. What do I do? He didn't reply. He's asked somebody, Chris Murray, to call me. Chris called me from Arizona. The company is based in Arizona. And it's in every country of the world. That was ago, he had 1973, November 17th. I want to build a company that will be in all countries of the world. It happened 40 years after. So whatever you can hold in your mind, you will achieve, no matter what it is. So he asked Chris Murray to call me. Chris called me, we started a conversation, one thing led to the other, trained, paid a couple of thousands, and I went through this program taking into results. It's a 6-month program, it was amazing. When I finished, I now paid additional, let me not say what, to train as a consultant to facilitate the program. This is the best decision I made in my life. This is the best decision I've made in my life. By virtue of the few companies that have been on their board, I've attended so many programs. I can't even remember some of them. I can't even remember the names. But this has done everything for me in my life. So I decided to let people into what I've seen. For me, it's evangelical in some respect. So I created a company called Thought Energy. Since everything is thought, your thought is like the mold. What you fill that mold with is what it becomes, what it does for you.
Very special one, who is also a managing partner with Thought Energy Consulting, Mrs. Ngozi Abako. Welcome, ma'am. So thank you so much, sir. So the next on our program is to introduce our graduates. So in no particular order, I'll just mention your name and you just wait so they get to know you. I'd like to recognize Mrs. Winifred Obaji. Mrs. Adiola Oloede. I don't think they saw you, some of you were still. Mr. Victor Abejega. Okay, there's one more person. The person is not here. Who is our last? Okay. I was just kidding. Professor Marcelina Ijadilola. Welcome. Okay, so these are the 4 graduates. Though we also have 2, they are also here. We'll recognize them, but they are not graduating till they finish their modules. Like I said, one took ill and the other one missed a class. So I would like to recognize Mrs. Teresa Alimi and Mr. Ifeanyi Opera. And I also want to especially recognize our special guests who, out of your busy schedule, still came to rejoice and celebrate with us. So thank you so much all for coming. So I would also like to recognize our Cohort 2 participants. They are also here to celebrate with the Cohort 1. So in no particular order, I'd like to call on Mr. Eche Oji, Mr. Chibo Wike, Mr. Ebubendike Abbas, Miss Maureen Omije, we are not finished. We still have one. Okay, in absentia we have Mr. Temi Popola, he's not here, and Amaka Okeke Lawal. Then Mrs. Obi is also on her way, so we'll get to meet her.
I just have to start from the hindsight before I joined this program. I have been saying I need a mentor. I need a mentor. I kept looking for it. I've paid millions of naira trying to do mentorship. I have done a lot. Yeah, I've done, when it comes to mentorship, I tried, but I wasn't getting the results, and there was a void in me that was constantly there. So there's a way, when you're thinking of something, you'll be in that space, and you start attracting those things to you, even without realizing it. Because there's nothing we are learning here that is not already in us, but this program points you to that thing and directs you to so that you can start acting it and becoming that particular thing. So there was a day the course touched me so much, and I called them that I want to take this course. They told me $30,000. I said, okay, I'm not there yet, we'll talk later. The person was calling me, I didn't bother. But somewhere from the blue, somebody picked me up from the group and called me, a Nigerian. She now called me. We started talking. But started talking, the books I've read, she has read. The things I've done, she's done. She was like, and I said, come, are you really doing this? I said, I've done it, I've paid. I said, a Nigerian can pay for this. Then I can. Then she said we should meet. So we met. She looked at somebody, I said, okay, I can't afford that right now. She said, baby, don't think about the money. I said, no, I have to think about the money. I'm a realist. That was the place I was before. I said, no, I don't have that money. She said, don't say you don't have it. Just decide. Decision first. The resources will fall in place for you. But it took me a long time to believe that. So she kept on talking to me. That's Mama. Then I decided eventually. But I couldn't raise the money then. Money I was did not come. So I said, okay. Mama, I can say, no, you're going to do this to Teresa. But don't worry, if you can't do the one abroad, you can do the one in Nigeria. That was what brought me to Thought Energy. So I was like, praise God, at least I can have a Nigerian that have an understanding, that is face to face. It's not, so I was happy to be part of this. Then where am I coming from? A lot of things was not going right for me. Financially, I have this financial block. There's nothing you tell me. Oh, even though you are in money, it's as if you are not in money. I don't know if you've been in that space before. So I started working with Mr. Chidi, and it was amazing how initially it was difficult for me. It was very difficult. I tried, I was struggling. And he told me, you're not there. This is how you're going to go about it. I don't understand. But with time, the reading, the consistency, the affirmations, all those things that seem as if when you give a child a punishment, go and write this thing 100 times. I never knew repetition was the power then. So repeating those things, I was becoming that thing without realizing it. For 15 years, I had my first daughter 15 years ago, and doctor told me that we can't have any other children. But I remember I told my husband that I planned for 4 children. And I don't know how it's going to happen. It must happen. That was then. I didn't know the power I had in me that I spoke that way. Even I chose the gender already. But it told me it can't happen. So my own gain from this TIR was that while all my IVs was, they were failing and failing, I never knew it was me that was the problem. So taking responsibility is part of what you have to get to TIR, that you are one of for your success and your failure. So I started seeing a shift in my life. The shift now even made my partner, my husband, now started falling in line with that. You are not like the doctor that was doing my IVF died. 20. You know what to do. He passed on. 2020. I was like, finished. Then my husband doesn't like anything dead. He just closed, shut up. I was like, we must do this thing. We continued. The program was going on. Everything was going on. Lo and behold, I never knew I had opened up the channel. The channel opened. This may sound spiritual, but that's how it is anyway. It's not tangible what we're getting here. But your results will show where you're coming from. So, the channel opened. He just saw a friend of his that he respects so much. He just came up with the picture in their Instagram. Teresa, they are doing it. Let's go. I've already finished this in my writing. I've already been saying, I am so grateful and thankful that I am a mother of 4. I've been writing this thing since. I've been writing it since. He now called me. I said, fine. That window opened in February and March. The IVF went through. We never knew we were having triplets. When they said triplets, I was like, God. If I got to a level, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing TR again. I just shut up. What is this? Like, God, give me just one, let me enjoy. Next thing, 3. It was crazy. But here I am today. They're going to buying penthouses. What did this guy do? He's an artist. So there's a way it has to transcend into your family, your business, your finances, your relationships. So if you know anybody, let them be TIR, no matter how expensive it is. Thank you very much, Mr. Chidi. I appreciate you, Maureen, and all my partners in Cohort. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Please. Thank you, Mrs. Alimi. Like Mr. Awako said, everything begins with your thoughts. Whatever it is you desire begins with your thoughts. So if you want to see good results, it lies with you. Anything we are today is a product of what we always dwelled on, our thoughts. So for you to start seeing a change in any aspect of your life, then there needs to be a reset in your thoughts. Thank you, ma'am, for that. I'd like to call on Mrs. Obaji to tell us how this program has impacted her. 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, once again, it's a great pleasure sharing this very remarkable moment with every one of you. I might spend more than that 2 minutes, so I'll just like to quickly indulgence before I get into it. So, mine would be, okay, so I would like to take people down, pick down the memory lane so you can understand who I am and how I've been able to go on, how I've been able to transcend to what I am today. So, it started when I was very young. I'm someone that loved thinking. I like to isolate myself from thoughts. I'll be, maybe others are busy playing, I'll just go sit down and start envisioning myself. So I've grown into a very powerful, successful woman, a business leader. I don't know where that thought came from, but that has been my personality. That has been the thoughts that I've held on for a very long time. So this continued, and while I left university, I got into the job market. I was getting a job. It was within a month I got a job. And then I worked for 8 years. Yeah. At the time I was just working, I wasn't even concerned. Fine, I had the dream, but all I knew was the job comes, I take up the job, I get tired. Like, I'm just recycling the junior position here and there. Every job I get recruited to be at entry level, I was comfortable with it. Entry level from this company, I joined that company. And something in me, so after 8 years of recycling jobs, something in me, I was just sitting down one day and I was a bit introspective into my career path. And I said, this kind of thing I'm doing, I have this dream, but with where I'm going, I'll end up working and not even attaining that position that I wanted for myself. I was depressed. I don't know if anyone has ever felt this kind of thing. You want something, but you just can't see yourself getting there. And the position where you are is not even giving, bank account, zero. Everybody will see you out there and think something is happening, but how about nothing? Then, fortunately for me, I've met Mr. Abaku 4 years ago in a very unusual place, unusual manner. That will be another story for another day. And meeting him at that time, I met him. After 10, 15 days of meeting him, I hit a sales target that I've never ever met that target in 1 year. I met that target in 15 days. I didn't know what happened, but it was part of the people that bought into my product at that time. So I don't know. I just thought somehow meeting this person would actually propel me in the path of growth. That was just what came to my mind. So I just maintained the relationship. Was more like a mentor, and I was his mentee. So that relationship, I cannot build a relationship. But at that time, what I was thinking was, okay, maybe him referring me to people would make me. That was just what I was thinking. And each time I call him, ask me how is business. I'll tell him I'm chasing money. And he'll say chasing money. How can you be chasing money? You attract money, you don't chase money. And I know that you're a big man, you don't understand, but still loves me. So I'll keep chasing the money till I get to his level. Maybe I'll understand better when I get to his level. And at that time, the only source of learning I had was just my experience. I never invested in myself. I had knowledge gaps here and there, but I didn't know. I was just getting on with life and still not getting anything I really want. Just chasing money, still no money. I can't even, at that time, I couldn't even lead a team. Imagine working 8 years of working, I couldn't lead even small, just a supervisor. I was shy of it for me. I couldn't even start to talk in front of people. I lacked confidence. So, meeting Mr. Abaku, somehow, I don't know what happened, how it happened. I was just at home one day, I was crying. I didn't know, I just said, I need help. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I need help. I need help. It was in the night. Anybody that entered the room would have told me that I lost someone. I cried and slept off. Coincidentally, the next day he called me to his office. We were just talking and he called me, that he's moved to his new office and all that. I said, okay, I was going to come and we see this your new office. At the time when I was going to his office, everything, the thing what was in my mind was, go and get clients for me. Go and chase money as usual. I got to his office. When I got there, he introduced me to this program. And then when he mentioned this to me, I was angry. In my mind, it was like, this is not what I came here for. But I still had to put in that facade of being excited. I just showed that I'm excited, but deep down I was angry. And then when he mentioned the price, I said, this man has come again. Where on earth? I'm chasing money, you're telling me to pay 6,500. Like, where am I going to get that from? At the time, I don't even know what was in my account, but I know I didn't have as much as it was. So, and reluctantly, I said, you know what, just leave me to whatever, let me just, some teaser, just something that I would like to feed myself with, to prepare my mind. And then he sent, I think it was lesson 1. And my quiet time, I played that, I played that, I listened to it. And then at that point, I just felt something. I said, all this principle, all these things Bob mentioned in lesson 1. Somehow it was congruent with my pattern, but I was unconscious. Somehow it was congruent. I could see some things some patterns that I've used in the past, but I was not unconscious. And then I realized that I was unconsciously competent. And then I said, you know what? I don't know where this money is going to come from, but I'm going to participate in this program. However, I know I'm going to do this. And then and I just reluctantly asked more, I just joined and all. And then, cannot imagine. After my shift was just too fast. Most times when family members come to me, it's just like magic. 2-3 months into the program, so I was supposed to, okay, so there's this property that I was managing at the time, but I didn't think, getting the job, I didn't think I could do it, but I just wanted to take up the job so that I just get my monthly pay every month at all. This property.
Before I met Bob Proctor, I think at some point I couldn't even listen to Bob Proctor because I thought he was a bit too harsh. And then eventually one day I listened to a video of his and I got sucked in completely. And so yes, like Teresa, followed one of his or joined one of his 5-day programs. And somebody reached out to me whilst I was joining the program and said to me, oh, you're Nigerian, blah, blah, blah. And I said yes. And so she hit me up and said, oh, do you know there's a PGI consultant in Lagos? I told her I was going to do it. She wasn't, I said, look, they're preaching to the souls, I'm going to do the course anyways. I just needed to clear my table at the time to be able to focus on it and do it properly, is what I said to her. And so eventually she met with me and then took me to meet Mr. Chidi, and I said to him, I'm going to do the course. You don't need to sell it to me. I'm sure that I'm going to do it. And I jumped on it and I did. And I'm so grateful that I did. Aside anything, I mean, first of all, the people that I met, my cohorts, the family that I created, and merged with, I will use those words, but also all the other things that came with it. And I honestly cannot begin to start to say them because we probably won't leave here today. However, I'm really grateful for everyone, Maureen, your constant support, Mr. Chidi, for your kind words and your care and concern towards us, and individually and collectively. And I would say that, if there's something that you really need to do, thinking into results is one of those things. Like everybody has said, it starts with your thoughts, and then it goes from there. If you do not like the results you're having now, then thinking into results is what you need to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man.
I will tell you that I've never had it so nice having been a participant in this program. I've done a lot of courses. I've done Kellogg in Chicago. I've done Wharton in Philadelphia. I've done Harvard in Boston. Coming back home, I've done Lagos Business School. But when I came into this program, I saw the difference. Practical. How it touched your thought process. Amazing. I remember when I was trying to relocate, to Parkview. I visited him in his house in Parkview. I was trying to look for land to build. Winifred was in the process where I was working in real estate, young lady. After about 6 months, I didn't get an appropriate land that would fit my purpose. So he told me, Victor, why are you looking for just that? Open up your mind, your thought process. Widen it. Why don't you look for a property that has been built in the city? I just realized that within about 6 weeks, I got exactly what I wanted in Parkview. A property, incredibly amazing. That usually your mind, you will have so much deposited in a man, in your thought process. It depends on how you activate those thoughts and you bring them to fruition. There will be others, there will be, obstacles, but don't allow that to distract you. In one of the programs, about all those obstacles, thoughts, but when you are focused, particularly some of us who are in the banking industry, there are a lot of global, domestic, economic headwinds. And I'm the CFO of a bank. We so much face the regulators, we face a lot of issues in the economy. Say the cash rate is how we are talking. So you need to be in a state of mind whereby you believe there's nothing you cannot do if you are focused. And this very program has opened up my mind so much to believe there's nowhere, there's nothing I cannot do. As long as I have the right frame of mind, and I believe all obstacles will come, but to look for a way to take it aside and move forward. I want to thank you, my coach and my mentor. You have done so much in my life. I appreciate it. Maureen, you have also been incredibly amazing in follow-up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Medic.
Living my dream again. And that's what the TIR has taught me. Intellectual level. I'm highly cerebral. I consider myself so. I haven't gone through medical school and all of that. But I've done PhD, master's, fellowship. I've been to many countries. And yet, there was this gap. Yes, Teresa, there was that gap. What do I need? Perhaps it was just that program. I read Think and Grow Rich. Before I finished reading Think and Grow Rich, I knew what business I wanted to start. And that's one of the reasons why I came late today. Books, events, seminars, coaching. How can I be a coach if I don't really have the content? TIR gave me the content. And I'm still learning and unlearning and learning. You would be amazed. But what I've learned in the last 2 years and 3 years culminates and makes me discover who I am. I won a research grant that I needed for my major next promotion. You can't become a professor if you've been writing books, manuscripts, and you haven't won an international research grant. Out of over 6,000 people that applied during COVID-19, I was selected out of the 23, out of 6,000 that applied. That was global, and that was huge for me. And then I was able to put it in my CV that I have a major international research grant. That's intellectual. Using the power of the mastermind. I didn't do it alone. I had a team, and I leveraged on that. Physical level, I was ill. In and out of ICU in 2021. It was as if the villagers were after me. I said, what do I have? This illness, can you take it so that I can be free? There was this day, my fever kept on going up at the ICU. It wasn't just a day, for about 12 days. And if they delay, I will be transfused. PCV, 19%. My colleagues are saying, this is crazy. You should be transfused. I said, just give me one more day. The drug I needed was not in the country. They didn't find it anywhere. So I remembered, don't let me die. Just don't let me die. On my ICU bed, I remembered a GSK rep that I met somewhere in Cape Town. Out of the blues, I called. Where are you now? I'm head of medicals for GSK. I said, then God said I should call you. What is it? I said, I need this drug. You have it. He said, we only have 15 vials left in our store, in our warehouse. I said, please send it to Ife. I need it. He said, don't worry, give the phone to your husband. I cannot hear what you are saying. So my husband spoke to him, and then that day, I received that drug. And I didn't even have up to 1 day. God did it. And then eventually I had my surgery. Things have been happening to me in my life. That shift. I teach when I go to class these days, I said, what I'm going to teach you here, you know. Okay, let's wrap 20 minutes about the content of the book. But let me tell you something you never know about, or nobody will ever teach you in class. And these are your mental muscles, building your mental faculties. Sometimes I go on self-image, sometimes I go on another script. They always look forward to my lecture. And I always keep time. And now we've introduced some very revolutionary things into the program. This is an academic curriculum of the university that I am changing and putting personal development into it. I have to practice what I preach. Uncle Chidi, thank you so much. Christian, Auntie, thank you so much. I'm still on this journey, and I'm not done yet. I'm grateful to my cohorts, Winifred, Diola, Teresa here. She will call me when I'm not in class. Where are you? We've started. I shifted my timetable for this. I was telling someone, I said, after Tuesdays, I was telling my sales rep, I said, Tuesdays, there's a gap. I'm supposed to be somewhere. I said, yes, you have finished the program, man. I was like, there was this book, Tuesday morning with Morris, but it's Tuesday morning with Uncle Chidi. Honestly, Maureen, thank you so much for being a very good accountability partner. Ifeanyi, thank you. Oga Victor, thank you, sir. Who did I miss? Nonso, thank you. Who did I miss? Adiola, she is my soul person. Speak illness into your life. Girl, speak it into your life. She will call me. Thank you so much. Our embodiment coach. I want to be in one of those sessions. Cohort 2, you are enjoying. You really are enjoying. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so grateful. Thank you, everybody. TIR is it. Tell me, my friend.
TIR works. Thank you so much, Prof. We want to appreciate you for that.
And learning, imbibing the tenets of the personal development program offered by Prof. Proctor in Arizona, United States. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And
I have a book I'm gifting you, The Power. Please read this book. Everything you're looking for has been put down somewhere by somebody. You can't reinvent the wheel. You can make better what has been made before. The secret of the sages are is The Power, written by Rhonda Byrne. This is the second book she wrote after The Secret.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And these two, I know you're a very busy person, but please try and continue to read. The next person is Winifred Obaji and her boldness. And she made that sale, and that was the contact. So congratulations, Winifred. I know you're busy. You can see money, you don't chase money, you attract money. This will help. Anybody here has paid for learning as much as she has worked, and she continues to do that. Congratulations, Bella. Want to get what you want to get. One of the things you learn in this program is discipline. Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow it. It's either you're disciplined or you manufacture excuses. It's a very simple program, but not easy. If you don't do the work, you won't get the result. Like anything in life. So somebody was quite outstanding. Others tried, but she was quite outstanding. I would like to recognize the person. What we do here is tokenism. It's not about money. If you encourage people, people should learn to encourage themselves. If you do what you didn't think you were going to do, give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a gift. So this is just an encouragement. So the person is Dr. Marcelina.
Oh my goodness. I am so grateful. Sometimes moments like this, when I can't talk, I sing. No, I can't even find any song. So I'm so grateful for this. This is huge for me. And I was really focused and passionate about this because I didn't know much. And so I had to empty all I knew to start learning, relearning, and unlearn. That was how I did it. No other way stood out than being there. This is the most expensive program I've ever engaged in. PhD, I got scholarship, it was on a platter of gold. But this one, I went to school and I paid for it. Simple. So I needed to deliver. Thank you so much. I was not expecting this. God bless you. God bless Thought Energy Consulting, my cohorts and everybody. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you and congratulations. So I would like to give our managing partner, Mrs. Ngozi Abapu, to just say a word or two to the graduates.
Maureen, we'd like to take us on our way, right. I just want to congratulate the brothers. I must say that listening to the graduates speak about the benefits from this program, you know, it's something kept ringing in my ears. It's a passage from the Bible that says prophets are not recognized in their own. Because, you know, it's amazing the transformation and the impact TIR has had in the lives of the graduates. I must congratulate all of you because these are things that so many want out there. They don't even know where to get it from. And you found it here. It's really worth celebrating. So congratulations to all of you. And one other thing I was going to say is that now that you've been so impacted, go out there and impact the world. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please, let's appreciate her. And congratulations once more to the graduates. So like I stated earlier, I would like to just call on one or two persons from the cohort to just 1 minute tell us how this program has impacted them. So in no particular order, I would like to call on Miss Maureen Omije. Please, can you just tell us in 1 minute how this program has impacted you?
Good evening, everyone. I will summarize. I don't want to bore anyone. I'm grateful for this program, really. I was on the path of wanting to know, trying to discover, asking questions. I had no answers. And I stumbled on Maureen, and I decided to join the program after a lot of hassle from her. I mean, it was good. I'm grateful. I call her sometimes and just tell her how grateful I am. It's been very, very wonderful for me because, like I said, when I started, I was trying to discover, I was trying to know. So, starting it, I was in a place of confusion. I felt like a little baby that was thrown into a pool. And I'm just struggling. I kept, you know, when we go out programs with Mr. Chidi, I'm like, I don't understand this thing. Really, a lot of people make, you know, sound like, you know, say it and it was magical for them. Well, it wasn't magic for me, really. It was like a child that was born and I was trying to learn how to walk. And I struggled for a bit. And when I actually got to a place that I felt like, okay, I mean, I'm still trying to learn, but I have this, I feel like I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. I feel happy and yeah. So thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Mr. Chidi. Thank you, CIR.
Thank you. Thank you. They are the cohort 2. They're just still starting. So I'm sure by the time she's through, we'll get a bigger testimony. So I'd like to call on Mr. Ejo. Just a minute.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. For me, I'll just go straight to the point. For me, it's been a very interesting journey. I met Mr. Abaku some months back, like 5, 6 months back, and we had some conversations. So knew it, I understood it, but I did not practicalize it. I didn't know the methods to do it. So he talked to me about the course. Maureen also talked to me about the course, and I said to register. So for me, it's been more of a fine tuning. It's been more of being very intentional about things that I already know, principles that I've known for a long time, like I'd read The Secret before I started the course. So it was more like being intentional, and I started to shape my life. There were parts of me that I struggled with. I didn't understand the power of habits. I didn't understand the power of repetition. So I tell everybody that lesson 2 has been my most impactful lesson, because it taught me about habits, it taught me about repetition. So I have a schedule. I have the way I schedule my life, and I've started becoming something else, becoming something better. I noticed also that when it comes to habits, you can't really keep and sustain a habit if it's not heading towards a certain goal. That was the major missing element for me. So I had to now tie my habits to the goals, and that way I didn't need any form of encouragement or motivation to chase them, because they were already tied to my goals. And all other habits that were not tied to my goals or specific goals and all that, I just discarded them, kept them aside, and focused on that. So for me, it's been a program that has helped me with laser focus, and there has been a lot of gain. And hopefully at the end of the program, I should be able to give some outstanding testimonies like this. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very specific points. I'd like to call on the last but not the least, Mr. D.K. Awazis. Maybe how this program has impacted.
Good evening, everyone. Chile has been a very good friend to me. I think meeting Chile has really been so impactful in my life. When Maureen came to TIR, and when she told me about the cost, and she told me that this man is an Indian man, he knows the value of money. And honestly, what TIR does to you in terms of monetary aspect of it, you don't see money, you don't attach much importance to money. You see it as a means or tool to achieve everything you want to achieve. And the moment she spoke to me about what the cost would be, really the Indian man in me set in, and I was really thinking. But on the second thought, the moment I decided, I made up my mind I was going to have this program. And ever since then, it has changed me completely. And I can tell you, self-image is everything. Self-image is everything. Just like our prof said, Masalina said. So honestly, it has really impacted me behaviorally, my thought, mental strength, everything about me. And there's something about this program. It keeps on resonating that even if things don't work out for you, but the moment you have that belief, trust, and believe that everything is going to be fine, you just see the universe bring all those events, those situations, those people that will make life, everything you want. It's just a constant space repetition about your desire, your goal, and the repetition of what you really want to happen to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I omitted someone, so please, this is not the last. We have one more person. I would like Mr. Chibo Bike to tell us how this program has impacted us.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Why do I feel that this is like one of our sessions? Because I feel so inspired, really. So, like I said, so far, the journey has been really interesting, confusing at times. At times, when I reflect back, it's like we have actually been practicing this unconsciously. So, with time, I kind of understand the word attraction. Back in school, I used to think attraction between man and lady, but I think it's not the wrong part. So, thank you so much. But more during our graduate, it's just been 1 hour time to really talk more than what they are spoken. Really, really inspired. Really, Prof. I'm very, very inspired. Really. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Mr.
Good evening, all. My name is Frank. I can say I came into the program had certain experiences in my life that put me on, they were practically pushing me to the edge of the precipice. I was very negative in my thoughts. So my brother brought me to this Papa. He gave me a number of books. I read them, and I changed my paradigm. And I was becoming very positive, and things were changing for me. But suddenly I had some major challenge that took me off the program. I can say I'm still very much interested. I haven't resumed, but I will come back. Thank you very much.
To thank all of you for coming. In my life, I don't think anything, I don't believe in coincidences. It's when we don't understand something, we say it's coincidence. Somebody tells you, every morning I go to work, I take right. That morning I don't know what happened. Something told me to take left. Not something. Your intuition, the spirit directed you to do that. That's not like coincidence. The spirit talks to everybody. Just be sensitive. That's your intuition talking to you. Your intuition doesn't argue, it doesn't have conversation with you. It tells you what to do. It's either you do it or you don't do it. But the times you don't do it, you will regret. I should have done this, so you will regret it. So let's be sensitive in our minds. So I thank you, and I keep thanking you. Success is not difficult. It's spiritual, not religious. If it's religious, all the churches, all the bishops will be the richest people. The people who have created value in this world, they were not religious people, but they were spiritual people. Spiritual laws are the natural laws of life. If you like, pray from morning till night. A student who has exams, if you pray and you don't study, you will fail. Faith without good works, it's nothing. If you begin to delve into the spiritual realm, which is what this program has done for me, that's when biblical quotations started making sense to me. I learned that we externalize Christianity. We should internalize about us. It's not about them. When they say Pharisees, you think it's them. We are the ones. Because when we read these things, we don't even believe. We don't believe God. Most Christians don't believe there is God. They don't believe what God says about them. But if you believe what God says, if you believe who God says He is, who God says you are, you do things differently. Because if the common governor of Lagos State gives you a problem, see me Monday morning, like 8 o'clock, you debate. The president of the country, Buhari says, see me Monday, you go to Abuja on Sunday. But if God says, come to church by 8 o'clock, if you believe God is who He says He is, you won't go to late, you won't go to church late. You won't. So God cannot tell you, you are my son, I created you in my image, I created my likeness, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Even before you were created in your mother's womb, I knew you. And said the kingdom of God is inside of that. Indeed, ye are God. If you believe that, you won't believe that the same person who gives you breath cannot help you to buy a house or buy a car. So we don't believe. And if you don't believe who God says, how will you have confidence in yourself? So it's about search to know who you are. Search to know the power domiciled within you. By strength shall no man prevail. He says, it's not of him that runneth or willeth. It's of God that showeth mercy. These things are easy. But they are simple, but they are not easy. It's not about how fast, it's not about how well. It's not about how hard you work. Then corporately say, it's not about how hard or how smart. The law of success is a spiritual law. For those of you who swim here, if you know how to swim, if you get into the water, you will glide, you will enjoy it. If you don't know how to swim, you will think it's a battle for life. Obey the principle. Say, be at peace with all men. Seek peace and pursue it. Then you have little thing with your somebody wants to die over your dead body. Say, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. Whatever a man sows, he must reap. That's the law of cause and effect. That's the law of justice. That's the law of sowing and reaping. And you're sowing with your words, sowing with your actions, sowing with your thoughts. So if you don't want anything, don't do it to anybody. I'm not different from you, you're not different from me. We're always from the same seed. But I think my daughter is more precious to me than my house dog. No. And that's the problem in the world. If you understand that we're all the same, there won't be wars. There's no scarcity of food in this world. What you have is scarcity of love. And love, the greatest force on the face of the earth is love. You don't understand these things. You hear count your blessings, that gratitude is a multiplier. But most people will hear this thing or don't believe that. Gratitude is something else. If you're not grateful, gratitude is a multiplier. When I was taught the multiplier effect in economics, I didn't understand it. Multiplier effect. If you see any kindness shown, multiplies. Can you imagine a man who is planting a tree and says, I want this tree to provide shade for people under this tree years after I must have gone? For those of us who are Christians, all the prophecies in the world, those that prophesied, the prophecies came true hundreds of years after their death. So they were mocked and ridiculed by people. We were looking at Jesus historically, and we don't still believe what he did. So how would his contemporaries, how did they relate to him? They wanted to kill him several times. But the Bible says he slipped away because his time had not yet come. So these things are simple things. You can't become, if you're earning anything you're earning when you work. If you want to double your income or triple your income, it's possible. But it's not the same you who is earning what you're earning that will earn that. It has to be you plus, plus, plus. What is that plus? That's the thing that will take you there. So you don't change your result, you change who you are. You change who you are. And the only person that can change you is you. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can do that for me. So I thank you very much. Ending does not mean we're going. I like us to actually spend. There's so much traffic there, so the best thing is to stay and let's stay and drink and let's stay and get to meet friends. Like I said, it's not coincidence that all of us are meeting today. Growing up, if I knew then what I know now, my lot would be a lot more. I used to be a very shy person. I'll be in class, you ask questions, I won't be able to raise my hand up. Some noise makers will raise their hand up, nothing, they failed it. What the teacher will say will be the answer. But I couldn't raise my hand. The people that raised their hands up and failed it, they had something I didn't have, that was boldness. And we need boldness. So I had very self-limiting belief. So what study? Every problem, what is the heart of every problem is ignorance. And the only thing to deal with ignorance is knowledge. There's a quote I like so much that they suffer. He said, in times of constant change, learners inherit the world, and the learned are beautifully equipped to deal with the world that no longer exists. I get that before, so become a property. So the world is changing. You can't be stagnant in a changing world. Everything you're looking for is inside of you. All you need to do is say, this is what I want. Anything you want in your life you can achieve. It sounds crazy. If you want that thing and know why you want it, heavens will move things around to raise the people, raise the circumstances, opportunities that will make that happen. 2 days ago, all the people here didn't know they were going to be themselves. But it's happening. It's not coincidence. It's a synchronicity. They're deliberate. There's a hand match, there's a matching concept out there, and that is God. If you're tuning, if you're trying to get FM 90.5, if it's 90.5, you get 90.49, you won't get it. Until you get 90.5, everything you're looking for is embedded somewhere. When your internet, when your feeling matches where it is, there's a matching principle. When the manager was discovered, was not when God put the manager there. When oil was discovered in the good, it was not when everything is here. The knowledge to create internet was there from day one. But when human knowledge fused with where the bundle of knowledge was residing, it became a discovery. Creation has finished. God's talent, God's gift to us is more talents and abilities that we need in our lifetime. Our gift to God is to see how much of those talents and abilities we can utilize for ourselves and for God in our lifetime. We are the ones holding ourselves. Don't be a 10-cylinder car firing on 2 cylinders. The fault is yours. If we have time, I will tell you what this program has done for me and still doing. I can't trade this for anything. As we said, we talk about the heart of inside God's hands. Why would you sleep with a man to be your job? In the heart of them, 1,000 things are in the hands of God. Like flowing waters, he will weigh them. Why don't you go to a man who has button to access 1,000 hearts? Why would you be going from one cake to the other? When I realized that, I have a couple of friends who are Christians. I don't go to them for anything. If God wants to use them for me, He will use them. And it happens all the time. But we should practicalize these things. We should internalize these things are there for us to. So let's not behave like a man who doesn't know about guns. You're carrying a loaded gun, pursuing somebody to go and break his head with the butt of the gun. That's ignorance. And the only way to cure ignorance is study. That's the only way. So once more, relax. I thank you. Meet as many people as possible. At some point in your life, you are what you know. At some point, you are what you know plus who you know. The knowledge you have is good, but what gives you value is what you do with the knowledge you have. Thank you very much, and remain blessed.
I want to thank you for coming to celebrate with us, to spend this special moment with us. Like we've heard from all the graduates and even the participants, TIR is a program that works. It's been tested and it's trusted. Like we always say, it's very, very easy, but it's also not easy. You need to do the work to get the results. I remembered when I first met Mr. Abaku and he told me about the program. I was like, I'm not interested in reading again. I've done it when I did it. When I was in school, I knew I did well, but I was studying to pass and make my parents proud, so the money they spend doesn't waste. But he tried to make me understand the importance of studying and reading. And I was like, no, the only thing in my head is money. Reading is the last thing in my mind. But then I joined the family, and I must really say the program has impacted me tremendously. I've also got to meet wonderful and lovely people in the course of being part of the family, both the Cohort 1, Cohort 2, and I must say this is no more like a job for me, it's a passion, and it's something I'm happy doing. That's why I don't mind calling everyone 30 times in a day, and I'm so happy doing it. I'm so excited doing it. I don't see it as if it's a stress. I see it as if it's an evangelical work that I'm doing. So, without boring you,
Did we complain?
if you are here and you're not already thinking into results, you're on a long team because you're missing. And the good thing is, it's not only thinking into results is our flagship program, but we have other programs too. We have the new Lead the Field, which is about $2,995. We have the Magic in Your Mind, that one is $549. It's very affordable. We have other ones, the Winner's Image, a lot of affiliates programs that are also like taking into result programs. So it's not about $6,500. So there are also other programs that you would also do, and you also think into results. So I don't need to over-convince you that this is really a good fit for purpose. It's very, very purposeful. And it's something you would not regret doing. Have I started marketing?
Yes, so keep going. We need it.
Oh, I thought I was living testimony. so, so, we are just a phone call away. You could just come and we'll tell you more about it. But this family is a place to be. You don't need to be told. At least you've heard from the graduates and the already participating participants. You've heard from them. It's not from Maureen, from Chinyere. Most of you don't know me as Maureen. Chinyere. You've heard from me. So, one more, thank you. So you've heard from them, and it's not a facade, it's for real. So I'd encourage us to please think deeply about it. I can see someone, Ishola. I believe you're inspired. Ishola, the very small teacher. You remember her from Obi. Yes. So, and like Mrs. Obriki also spoke, she's inspired, and I'm sure she will start joining her husband to do it too, including Mrs. Eche, Oji, Samaka. She's listening, so I'm sure it's something that everyone here would like to do. So thank you very much for coming. Please, there's still food. Let's go and eat so that it doesn't waste. Pay for. Sir? And there's traffic. So you can just wait out traffic while you keep eating. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, each and every one of us here, and God bless you. So, in the absence of any other thing, I would like us to say the closing prayer while we keep eating and waiting out traffic. So I'll call on Mrs. Neka to give us a closing prayer.